Give myself a round of applause. Yay! We are live. We are back, people. We are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for joining us once again for another Thursday night at 3 o'clock. I am Dwayne alongside
Shantae. I'm just trying to see if we're live just yet. I'm not seeing us. Oh, okay. I see it.
Did you see us now? Okay, we're live. We're live. We're live.
Listen,
Shantae had
I'm
to
just
check.
trying to make sure
She
that
had to
we
check
right.
the technique. Check the technique. Check, make sure we were live and properly live like we're supposed to be.
I don't want to get started with our topics and start talking about stuff if we're not actually live.
All right. So we weren't live last week. But the reason we weren't live last week, we weren't here. Why was that, Shantae?
We were out of town, friends. We were out of town having a good time without you.
We went on vacation.
I'm just kidding.
We went on vacation. We were out of the country. We are in the great country of Jamaica, my family's birth country, I should say.
That's where his heritage is from, guys.
My family. So we went and visited there. We didn't go to the family home. We went and visited.
We did go to the family home.
Okay, we stayed at a resort.
But we visited the family
home. We visited the family home. Yes, we did. We did visit the family home. I showed Shantae's already been there, but we took her parents and her sisters. Took Rachel also, because last time Rachel went, she was only 4 years old.
You seem so docile.
I'm docile right now?
You're like, yes, we went to the family home.
So I took him on a small tour, visited my father's grave. We visited my grandmother's home. And I took him to where both my parents grew up, in Black River and Parity. So had some good food at Cloggy's on the beach. So if you ever go to Jamaica, go ahead and visit Cloggy's on the beach. They got some good food. It takes forever to cook it because it's made. When they say made to order, it's made to order. They pull that stuff out the cooler. The fish, if you threw some water on that fish, it'll still be flopping.
Oh my God. Well, one thing I can say, if you guys want to see what some of the food looked like and what some of the atmosphere was like, you can check out my review page on Google, because I, of course, put it up there.
And you reviewed the whole trip.
And I gave them a glowing review with the food, and I put pictures of the food and the menu and, how it looked out there. So pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Didn't know you did that.
That's what I was doing this morning as you were having your nose on my keyboard.
Had your nose on your keyboard. Okay, whatever.
I always wanted to use that line. I felt like it was so crafty.
Nose on your keyboard?
You know who said that?
Who said that?
That was The Weeknd.
The Weeknd was in a song?
Yeah.
Your nose on my keyboard?
Yeah. What you following me for? There's a room full of what you following me for?
I'm lost. Okay. I thought you was gonna say it, but you still didn't say it.
So anyways, I always liked that line of that song, and so I just wanted to use it. I don't know.
Yep. So it was a spring break trip. We took Rachel spring break to have a good time, and she had a great time. Ate a whole bunch of food.
First of all, I did not know that our daughter could eat that much.
She's a Clark. What'd you expect?
She literally ate and ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. I just thought it was so strange. I was like, every time I turned around, she had some food in her mouth. I was like, where did you even get that? She was like, over there.
She's snacking. She say it's for food.
She was snacking. Okay.
Just walk up to the restaurant and just say, "Hey, I want a plate of whatever." And just get it and just walk away with it. She's like, "Oh, it's just free food." No, it's paid for. We paid for it.
Oh yeah.
It's not free. We paid for it, but you can just go get it. You just can go get it. That's all it was. So that was vacation. That was last week. So we're getting into this week's episode. Jeffrey's not here. We'll welcome Jeffrey back hopefully next week. Jeffrey's working hard-working man. He's got to keep them bills paid. So he's running that business, that Clark Shave Company, running that barbershop.
Yeah.
So if you haven't patronized him, you live in the Georgia, Marietta, Atlanta area, and you need a good barber, head over. He shaves barbers. I think he just added another barber to his business. So you need to check out Clark Shave Company over there in Kennesaw.
He definitely has some beard and skin products that if you have not checked it out, certainly all the men around us have used it and they can vouch.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll write a Google review on that. Ordered my husband some da-da-da-da-da.
Uh-huh.
Hey, we got a guest over here.
Okay, you trying to join the show since Uncle Jeffrey's not here? Yeah, not right now. Okay.
No, Rachel.
So yes, join Jeffrey. So check out Jeffrey over there working hard over there at Clark Shea Company in Kennesaw. So we got a little bit of celebrity news before we get into topic. So one celebrity news we like to hear, it was a tragedy, but they gave us good news in the midst of it. Jamie Foxx is in Atlanta filming his Netflix series, and he was rushed to the hospital. His daughter, Corinne, put out a statement, said he had a medical emergency this morning or today, and he was rushed to the hospital, but he's on the mend. So he was already recovering from whatever happened to him. So he wasn't feeling good. They had to cancel the day of shooting. So he went to the hospital.
Wow.
But they said by the time the news was released and everything, they said, before TMZ and everybody got a hold of it, the daughter released a statement saying he went to the hospital. He was having a medical complication, and he's recovering right now. So he's okay. So I guess he'll be back on set in another 2 days. So he's shooting in Atlanta.
So maybe he was tired.
Yeah.
Dehydration.
Anything, that sun out there is beating down, especially you on set with them lights and you got a lot of clothes on and you get hot, there's only certain things you can do. So also in Atlanta is one of Shantae's favorite actors is currently in Atlanta shooting his new movie. Look at this look on her face. She's like, who's my favorite actor?
You better not say Will Smith.
Will Smith is currently in Atlanta shooting, has been caught on camera shooting Bad Boys 4 in Atlanta. Him and Martin are in town to start shooting the new movie, Bad Boys 4. And I just want to put that out there because I know Shantae how much she loves Will Smith. And we're going to see Bad Boys 4.
You'll be seeing it by yourself. Chris Rock ain't forgave him. I ain't forgave him.
Whatever. It's a mute point. Whatever. So, in one other entertainment news, Monique finally released her Netflix comedy special.
I want to see it. I saw it, but I saw the previews for it, but I didn't watch it because I figured you would want to see it too. So I'm kind of waiting for you to say you want to watch it.
I watched the Monique special recently.
Really?
I watched it. I think I watched it when we first came back. So I watched it. I'm not going to give too much away on it, but she did have a clip, and it's circulating social media. So if you're on social media, she has a clip in it where she talks about how she's had sexual feelings for females. And she says she's hid it most of her life because of the way her grandmother was and how she treated her gay uncle, and that she was her eye of her grandmother's apple of her grandmother's eye, and she didn't want her grandmother to be looked down on her, even though she was the famous TV star and then comedian and whatnot. So she hid that, and she was scared, and she finally told her husband, and they were everybody, her third husband, which she said is finally her soulmate and her guy that really loves her to death, but she made that revelation that she's had sexual feelings for females. I don't know if she's ever she never mentioned that she's ever acted on them. She's never been in a relationship, but she mentioned that on her Netflix special. Shantae eyes.
Boring.
So, and also Monique news. Monique is currently suing CBS and Paramount.
Of course she is.
You know why she's suing them?
Why?
She says she's owed back royalties for the Parkers.
Oh, snap.
So she says she's suing for royalties for the Parkers right now. So we'll see that story just popped up on my feed after I was talking about her special. So we'll see what happens. But there's a whole bunch of other news going on, celebrity stuff. So we're going to kick into our subject or whatever our subject. Shantae has a subject for us that she wants to talk about. So go ahead, Shantae. Tell the people what you want to talk about.
Well, hopefully I won't be talking about this alone.
You won't. I just want you to introduce the subject. I just want you to introduce it, and then I'm going to talk about it with you. Just introduce the subject, and then I'll jump in. Come on now. Lord have mercy.
So,
yes.
I find that when you're a nice person and you're always willing to help, no matter what the situation is, whether it's you need somebody to help you move, or somebody needs you to help them move, or you need to show up or something, or you need to do this, or you or somebody needs some manual labor, or they need you to come and lock a door, or whatever the case may be.
Okay, Shantae. Shantae getting
You
personal with that.
tend to get used. Users and abusers is what we're talking about tonight on. I was just getting ready to say 10 things, Lord
There you
Jesus.
go. She done messing up. Got too much stuff going on. Confusing my show with her show, confusing our show with her show. Oh, Lord have mercy. But we are here. Users and abusers. Yes, I have been used plenty of times. And I've said it to people. I get loyal. I've been used a lot, especially in my younger years, when I was very loyal to people who were used the mess out of me. And I didn't realize that till later on in life that I was being used. I thought, oh, we were working together to build something. And then when I figure out, well, why am I not getting a piece of the pie, or I'm not, in the decision-making part of it, realize that, it was just using me for my talents or whatever I can do so they can get ahead. And then, it's like, oh, you're gonna get and then telling me stories.
Get yours on the back end.
You get yours on the back end, but
Right.
I gotta get mine. And don't have a misconception. I do understand. If you're paying the cost to be the boss, you put out all the money and you do most of the work. Yes, of course you're gonna get a larger piece of the pie. But no, not if you're saying, okay, well, I did this, you did all of this, but I did the legwork to get to this point. I did the intellectual legwork. Now you need to do all the manual. No.
So what I find with people is that, most people that can convince like a nice person to like get involved with their stuff, they're very good at selling dreams. Right? So you're being sold this dream of we're gonna be famous, we're gonna make a lot of money, we're gonna blow up, we gonna be the talk of the town, we're gonna be this, we're gonna be that. But you never see their plan, how they're gonna get there. You never see how the money's gonna come through, and you never see when your part of the piece of the pie is gonna come in, right? So it's kind of like they keep that part to themselves while you're doing all the grunt work, right? So you say to yourself, and this is where I struggle, because money, anybody, now I know. Now when I was young I didn't realize this, but anybody could get money. Anybody could go out there and get a loan. Anybody could go out there and hustle up a couple of $1,000s to get something jumped off. It's not really that hard if you have decent credit. And even back in the day it was way easier to get money. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't know. Sometimes you didn't know about certain things.
You didn't really know. So my thing is, having money is just a small subset. The hard work is what makes something go. The repetitiveness of doing it over and over and over and over again is what makes the engine go. You can't just fuel it with money. You got to have somebody to do the work.
Yeah.
So I feel like money equity is skin in the game, but sweat equity is skin in the game too. I don't know if it's equal. What do you think?
I do believe it's equal, because without the work, just because you have money, you could have all the money in the world and be the poorest person. And why I say that is because you have all this money, and if you're just spending it, and you're not working to bring any more money back in, or knowing somebody to work to make you more money, then it's gonna be gone.
Right.
It, as the word says, it takes money to make money, but you have to be able to know, how to put in the work to make sure it goes where it needs to go, or it keeps building on what you have. You got to pay somebody to paint the building. You got to pay somebody to pull up the car. You got to pay somebody to drive the car. You got to pay gas to put in that car.
So, okay, let me ask you this, because I always am amazed when you have a person, right? and they're willing to pay others, but not the people in their inner circle. I know more than one situation.
Yeah,
like this,
more
you
than
know
one
what I'm saying?
situation. I've seen it too. Also, more than
It's
situation. They say, "Oh, they're skilled. This is their job. They're skilled. They do it professionally. This, that, and the other. They have a degree in it. They have a degree in it. They have a certificate in it. That's why I'm paying them to do that job." Even though you may know somebody, the person you have in your circle that knows how to do that job, you would want to get them to do it for free or less to nothing, and then pay the person who says they have the degree the top money.
My thing is, I just kind of don't understand that concept because people are only gonna do stuff for free for so long unless there's something in writing to say what it is I'm gonna get. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, there's only so many contracts I can negotiate. There's only so many times I'm gonna come and tweak the lights for you. There's only so many times I'm gonna show up for something or do something for you or come up with ideas for you or write a song for you, or there's only so much of that I'm gonna do without some type of paperwork in place to say what it is I'm gonna get for my hard work and effort.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that you got a choice. Like, okay, I can spend my time doing this, or I can spend my time doing that. When this becomes less important, I stop getting interested, and you can't be mad at me for that.
That's not my job.
You can't be mad at me for that.
That doesn't pay my bills. That doesn't everything to say. So what I think is funny is looking at some of these younger people, millennials, Gen Zs. They say, "Well, I don't do it just for the money. I do it for the life." I was like, okay, this is a capitalist world. You can't eat, you can't live, you can't do anything without money. And you say, "Well, I just do it for the experience. I don't want to do it for the money. I want to do it for the
right because
well-being
they got
life."
somebody paying their rent.
As I said,
If you didn't have nobody paying your rent, you would be doing it for the money.
exactly.
If you didn't have no food on your table, you wouldn't just be doing it for the money. So that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and it's got and people will use you up, and I lost my train of thought there. You got to be able to do it for its money or something tangible that you can use to better your life. You're bettering that because they're using you to better their life. You got to have something tangible to better your life, because if not, you're just running down yourself.
Right. Or the people, I get frustrated when I hear people who they have all of these things, all of these talents within themselves, and they're constantly using it for the next person, but never using it for themselves. So then you're like, okay, because I'm so consumed with what you're doing, I don't even got time
to do for me,
to do for myself. And then if I tell you I can't do it, you want me to give you a whole work excuse. You want me to call in sick.
My experience of what I need to do for me is not good enough for you. Now, if you're paying me to do a job, now I can understand when people talk about, oh, well, they're paying you to do a job. This is your job. This is your livelihood. And they're paying you to do a job, and they expect this, that, and the other, because it's in your job prescription. It's your job prescription. It's in your job description to do this for this and get the money and do it and do these hours and work and get it done.
Right.
And then when it comes to say, well, and then when you come to say, well, no, this is not bettering my life. I need to work on my dream of being a folk singer or work on my such and such. But they just want to do that. They just want to do that and not care how money or anything comes into play. And then people will use. So I think I'm straying away from the subject about using and versus basically people paying you to do a service.
Well, here's my thing about it. Like, if I'm going to get involved with somebody, going forward, because of course, the relationships you've made are kind of the relationships you've made. And if you didn't really establish that in the beginning, sometimes it's hard
Mhm.
to go back and establish that later on.
Yeah.
So, going forward, anybody you like make a relationship with and you see that it's going to be kind of like a give and take thing, you got to have a conversation in the beginning. Like, I feel like you don't have conversations when you're younger.
No.
Because for you're selling into the dream.
Mhm.
But now we're about to be middle-aged. We are middle-aged.
We are middle. This is middle age because it gets middle age used to be, I guess, when they used to be the fifth. They say it was your 50s, but I don't know how that's middle age when your life expectancy is 80. It's
Right.
80 or 80 something. So middle age is in your 40s. It's not in your 30s, not in your 20s, not in your late 20s or your 30s. It's in your 40s, middle age, because it's like, okay, you're middle age. You have less years ahead of you than you have behind you.
Right.
So you got to think about, what is it to benefit you in the long run?
Well, it's not just that. Nobody wants to work forever.
No.
So when you talk to me about whatever it is you're trying to do,
Mhm.
it has to make sense for my plan to stop working.
Mhm.
So when you tell me, hey, I want you to get involved in this, and this, I'm automatically thinking in my mind, what can I do with what I'm doing for this person that's going to help me retire?
Yeah.
And if it ain't helping me, then
does it bring in something that's
does
beneficial?
it bring in enough?
Or does it bring in anything financially or I don't know, it's another word I was trying to think of, but does it bring in anything that will help you in the long run as for you? No, you're helping them in the long run, but is it helping you in the long run?
But for me, it has to make enough sense, because the thing is, $10 or $15 is not gonna do it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm spending my time now, if it's something I decide to do that's only bringing me in a couple of dollars here and there, that's how I choose to spend my time.
Mhm.
But if you're asking me to spend my time helping you, it's got to make enough sense for me to waste my time doing that versus doing something else for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where we're at in life. And so the user part of that, like, you can't just be using me up and wasting my time when I could be doing something else.
Yeah. So people say, well, I'm helping you learn this new skill.
I don't want to learn a new skill at 45. I'm sorry.
If you're using me and then you learn this new skill, well, I've learned a new skill, but if you're still using me up on it, how am I going to use this new skill to benefit me? How am I use this new skill to get a new job? Am I going to use this new skill to advance my career? Am I going to use this new skill to, help my family out in the future? How does this help me? I learned you, so you're telling me, oh, well, think of all the experience that I got new experience, but where am I going to use this new experience if I'm using it all up right here?
I almost feel like you got to break it down like they dummies. Like, you got to be like, okay, so if the tables were reversed,
Mhm.
and I was asking you to learn a new skill and not pay you for it, would you be willing? How long would you be willing to do that? How long would you be willing to give me your time, energy, and effort consistently without me giving you any money? But I'm making money, but you're not making no money.
Exactly.
And
it doesn't matter how much you can say that, oh, well, I'm not making that much, but you're making something. Even $1, you're not giving me 5 cents. That's something.
Right.
You're not saying, okay, well, I'm not saying you're making $1 million and you only give me $5. I'm saying you're making something, but you just, you got to understand, my time is worth money just like you. My time is worth something just like you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just feel like these days, people don't understand that
not
value.
A lot of time, like 2 days. Huh? Tiffany said not a lot of time, like 2 days.
Right. Right.
Okay.
You get what she's saying?
No.
She's saying, like, I can give you some time, but not more than
2 days.
2
Okay.
days, 2-3 days maximum
hmm
without you paying me.
hmm
That's just like,
That's like a weekend weekend activity.
Right. You want me to help you move. But I'm not talking about you're committing me something to months and months and months and months,
hmm
and I can't see any benefit from it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The benefits, the benefit, your benefits don't match my benefit.
No.
That's what it said. That's basically say your benefit of what you want and what you see and your plan. Because your plan and my plan were never the same.
Right. Tiffany says, because my time is also important. So if you're making some money, I don't expect a lot of money from you, but at least something, or even a free dinner or something.
Lunch, gas money, lunch, gas money, breakfast, whatever the time, something that says, hey, I appreciate. A thank you is words. Thank you is appreciated. I always appreciate it, but a thank you
only goes so
far.
Only so many times.
There's only so many times you're saying thank you.
You can only say thank you to me so many times before that needs to turn into something tangible.
Yeah. Because it becomes the point where it's like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. It was like, okay.
Really? That means, so I always tell people, for me, so I'm not a big I love you person, right? I don't say I love you a lot. Dwayne knows this. I don't really say I love you a lot. But the reason why I don't say it is because, to me, every time somebody ever told me that they loved me that was outside of like my mom or dad or somebody like that, they always let me down, right? So I feel like I love you means nothing, right? So in my eyes, if you want to tell me that you love me, do it by showing me.
Actions speak louder than words.
Right. Do it by showing me that you love me. You can't tell me that you love me and then slap me in the face. You can't tell me that you love me, then don't support me in the things that I want to do. You can't say that you love me and then every time I need you, you're never there for me. Like, to me, that's what love represents. Not you doing things for me, but for you being there for me. Like, showing up. That's what love looks like to me. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So, for some people, it's gifts. For some people, I mean, there's so many ways that you can show love, but for me, it's showing up. So if I ask you to do something,
be there,
and then you refuse or you don't do it, to me, that says, I don't love you.
I'm a lot more jaded than that because people, I've been there where people don't show up for you on a regular basis. So you got to show up for yourself. So,
and I get that. Like, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, they don't show up for you on a regular basis. So it's like, I'll do it myself. That it gets hard when you know that you're being used, or when you're there and you show up for somebody they need you for a project, they need you to do something, right, and you show up for them on a regular basis.
Right.
But the one time you call that person that you've been there that's used you up, say, well, I need you to be here for this. This is what I got going on. Can you be here?
Right.
Oh, well, you know what's going on? I can't do it because so-and-so, so forth and so-and-so. Oh, you know what? I forgot I got this going on. Oh, you know what? Oh, hit me next time. Oh, give me some more time. Oh,
well, and here's my whole
me find me. Just kidding.
So here's my thing. It's not even that I'm saying that you have to show up every single time, but on a consistent basis, you do need to show up. That's how I know you love me. And if you can't do it, you need to have a legitimate reason. My friends, they know. If you can't do it, you need to open up your mouth and say, hey, Shantae, I'm not going to be able to make it. Hey, Shantae, because I know my friends on a regular basis are not going to cancel on me. You know what I'm saying? So that's okay. Every now and then, you cannot show up. I don't ask a lot out of my friends, but when I do ask, I expect, and I mean expect, you to be there. Sorry about that.
Dante said relationships have to be reciprocal. If you're not getting the same as what you put into the relationship, is one of convenience or the person using or being used. See, that goes along with the beginning of the subjects. It's a reciprocal relationship. You want me to do this, that, and the other. I need you to show up for me when I need you to do this, that, and the other. And if it's not showing up, then you need to compensate me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in friendships is not a transactional thing. But again, that's the way that I feel love. I feel love when you show up for me.
So you're moving to more of a subject of being used by a friend in the sense of you're there, always there. You always show up for what they need, but when they don't show up, when you call them, they're like, oh, they always got an excuse every day of the week.
Yeah, I mean,
and you always got to meet them where they are, not where you want them to.
With you, I really don't have a lot of friends like that anymore because the ones that I did have, they done got gone. Or I've cut them off because I'm not going to live my life like that. So I'm going to say I pretty much don't have that situation anymore. Just because the people who are my nucleus, like I love them like my own family. Like that's the true love that I have. Like I love people unconditionally. Dwayne will tell you, even when they don't even deserve it.
Yep. I just see it, but I see it from the beginning. So I guess that's my bad part about it because I always see it from the beginning. I was like, okay, and pay attention to who this person is. Oh, I give them a chance, or no, they not. No. And I'll tell them. I've given a couple people a chance around Shantae. And she know I don't mess with
run them away. Yeah. He feels like they ain't down for Shantae.
And I've had, there's one I can't run away, but I try to stay out her way because she wants me to be nice. I try to be nice. I let them be, so that's just me. But y'all on here watching, y'all know who I am and who I can be.
I ain't gonna let you run some of my people away because they just don't know no better. But for the most part, I pretty much.
For the most part, except for the one. Dante, be quiet. Be quiet, Dante. I don't know, be quiet. The other people who watch on the replay all don't know about me and what I do and how I do. I only have very few friends. I have one best friend I've had for over 30 years. And that's hard to say for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got unless you in your 60s or something like that. There ain't nobody can say they had a friend over 30 years.
Right.
And then I got friends that Shantae's brought in my life that I've got to be friends over the last 15, 16 years that I say, okay, these are my friends. True. I got family members I don't deal with on a regular basis. And I won't deal with them. Right. They probably watch it on the replay and I'm like, oh, I won't deal with them because I've given them plenty of chances. But that's another show for another day.
Digress.
That's another show for another day. But it's going back to being used and not and people using you. And I don't know. I could have been one of those persons that have used somebody, but I never knew it.
So do we give people a pass when they don't know that they're using that? Okay, so there's givers and takers, right? So there's this whole thing. So I'm a giver, right? I'm like a true giver. Like I ain't gonna say nobody pours into me as much as I pour into them because I don't think that that's true. But I pour into people a lot. I pour myself into them because I feel like when I do that, that's the best version of who I am. Like the best version of who I am is giving my time, energy, talents, and efforts to other people. Like that's the best part of me. Gotcha. And without that's like not Shantae. That's a completely different person. Been that way all my life. I'm gonna be that way, So when you get with people in your life, a lot of times they see that. They know that you're gonna go the extra mile for them. And a lot of people bask in the sunshine. because nobody's ever loved them quite that way. So the question is are you intentionally trying to use me, or are you trying to fill a void that you just never had?
And that's hard in this day and age. That's hard to tell because there are a lot of people who, I've met people and I know them, and I'm, certain things I never had. I know people who have had stuff, so they be around you because they see something that they never had and they want to glow and see how that environment feels. So they're using you for emotional support or emotional uplifting,
Yeah.
but that's not always a bad thing, because
Okay.
people they want to use you to be, but when they bring a toxic atmosphere from what they have into that loving or
Yeah.
uplifting environment, that's where the using becomes bad.
Yeah. That's a pill right there. That's a pill, like, because and what's kind of jacked up is that they don't even know they're being toxic.
No, they don't. They think that's
they
us. Life goes.
literally don't even know that they're being toxic.
That's life. That's life for them. That's how you're supposed to be.
Right. It's like, look, like I got this young lady that I consider to be, a very close acquaintance.
Okay.
Right. I consider her to be a very close acquaintance.
Gotcha.
But she's always very drama. Like every time I talk to her, like she wants to know the drama. She wants to know that there's drama around me. Like she wants to know
what's the tea?
The tea. She wants to know like that there is some type of dramatic situation happening with me.
Mm-hmm.
And if everything is all good, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you later, kind of thing. And like you just kind of be like, was she calling to see if something was messed up with me or what?
Was she not trying to just be my friend and talk to me?
Right. So I find that very interesting, but the thing is just like she's anything under the sun for you.
Mm-hmm.
She remembers birthdays and anniversaries. She always sends me money for my daughter's birthday and everything. Just such a sweet young lady.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I talk to her, it's just like drama. Like, and so I always think to myself, I mean, does misery love company? Like, I'm not really understanding.
It becomes a conundrum that you don't know how to deal with.
And you don't want to like cut them off because it's almost like you feel like that's not really what their intention is. Like they're not really trying to see you down. Like that's not really what it is, but they just simply are not deeper than that. They're not deeper than the drama.
Which is a shame. Which is a really big shame. So I don't know how to deal with stuff like that. So, I'm just if I see it coming, I guess I've dealt with it in my younger years, and I let a lot of stuff get to me and mess me up. And I've worked through some of that because I've had to work through a lot by myself. So when it comes to something like that, I see a way to get it out of my life, or if it does come, I know how to cut it off quick because I'm just not in the mood. I get too old I'm like I said, you too old. As a phrase goes, I'm too old for that shit. People say, it's like, I'm too old. You get to the point where I'm too old for that shit. What the hell? I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with that. That's too much. I'm done. So it's like you get to a point in your life where you see certain things that you just don't want to deal. You dealt with it. And you get to the point where I'm just not going to deal with it no more.
Well,
so each person has a way. Your way, you have a nice way of doing it. And people say I have a direct way of doing it.
I mean, but do I?
Or do you not deal with it?
I mean, I feel like when you push me to the limit
mm-hmm.
and I've had enough,
mm-hmm.
I'm very direct. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like somebody pushes you up against the wall and they and they start swinging on you,
Mm.
I'm not gonna sit up there and block my face. We gonna fight.
I don't know how that's gonna happen.
Huh?
Okay, I don't know how that's gonna happen, but okay.
I mean, it's happened before. Like, you know, it's like, okay, you gonna say what you gonna say, because for me, like, as long as you using your words nice,
Mhm.
you being nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to you. The second you wanna go down there in the gutter, I can go right there too.
Well,
Because the one thing about me, I have a really good memory, and I can recall it in a fight very quickly. Because that was my mechanism when I was young, you know?
uh-huh.
I was really good about, you know, not having to use my fist, because I didn't tore you up so bad with my tongue. Listen, you ain't gonna say nothing else. You can be hiding.
Shantae had the bulletproof tongue.
Yes, I did.
She had the bulletproof tongue. She
Yes,
used to
I did.
cut you up with the tongue. Chop suey.
Yeah, because the one thing about it, the only enemies I have were always the best friends.
Keep your enemies close.
Yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies
Closer. There you go. There you go. So we've gone our time. It's 40 minutes into the show. And I think we have talked about the subject of being used in every situation.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get used no more.
Not trying to get used no more. So we are back. We are back. We are back. We will be back next week. And hopefully Jeffrey will be in the building. So we'll have a new subject, new topic talk about. We'll delve more into entertainment, have some more tips and treats for you. So we want y'all to come back and tune in with us. So I am Dwayne.
I am Shantae.
And we are the Three Clarks. And I'm going to leave you with this nice little video of our vacation where it was a nice, fun time at the plantation. And the pool. So have fun. Take a nice video of the scenery, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.